Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the greatest philosophers that has ever lived, and one that has influenced modern philosophy like no other. And in today's video, I'll explain why if he was alive today, he would be a degenerate weeb like the rest of us. We'll take a look into who Nietzsche was, into some of his ideas, and into what good and bad would happen if he indeed got into anime. So, for those who've never heard of Nietzsche, he was a 19th century philosopher who wrote a bunch of books that revolutionized philosophy as is. And as the cool guy he was, he went mad. But more than in his life, I'm interested in some of his ideas. And like most other philosophers, Nietzsche wrote about things like morality or the meaning of life, but most things he wrote about are not really important for this discussion. What we absolutely need to realize about Nietzsche is that he would be considered a Sigma both by your 9-year-old neighbor, addicted to whatever brain rot he saw on TikTok, and also by the 18-year-old guy with no real friends, who spends his free time watching alpha male edits. For those whose brains are intact and functioning, and therefore don't understand what I just said, Nietzsche was basically an outsider who is idealized by weirdos on the internet. The reason he is considered so is that he disagreed with the traditional ideas of morality. In his eyes, altruism and selflessness weren't the signs of one's morality, but of one's weakness, which, in the 19th century, was beyond edgy. Instead, what he considered to be moral was the notion of overcoming a struggle and through that, gaining power. Many people don't know this, but the famous quote, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger," is Nietzsche's. In his eyes, struggling, overcoming struggles, and gaining power was what gave life its meaning. Just don't overdo it, or you'll end up like him. And this is why I think that if Nietzsche was born into the world we live in today, instead of the genius philosopher we know, he would be an absolute anime junkie. You think that the man who idealized struggling wouldn't love stories like Berserk, which is about nothing more than shit hitting the fan and guts having to clean it up? Or what about Baki, in which the only arcs that happen are training arcs and tournament arcs? Or what about JoJo's? I think that if anyone would enjoy stories about a bunch of men that are really close to each other, it would most likely be Nietzsche. But with everything good comes something bad. And in this case, Nietzsche's obsession with becoming stronger would lead him down the dark pathway of power fantasy and isekai. It would start by him reading Solo Leveling, then he would read and watch more and more shows like it. And slowly but surely, he would go through all the isekai, all the power fantasy manga and manhwa there is, but one. And with nothing else to watch, the great philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche would watch the infamous masterpiece that is Redo of the Healer. And afterwards, as in his real life, he would have a mental breakdown and he would stay incapacitated for the rest of his life. This time, not because of syphilis, but instead because of a power fantasy isekai. But I guess brain rot is brain rot. Or the good ending. He would just get obsessed with femboys and live happily ever after. But that's a topic for another day. Thank you for watching, please like and subscribe, and have a great day.